Breaking news! The European Weather Agency has issued red alerts for potential catastrophic flooding across Central and Western Europe. Regions along the Meuse, Scheldt, Po and Arno rivers are expected to be impacted within the next 72 hours.
This could be serious. If the projections hold, entire residential zones could be underwater within days. And that means one thing for us: exposure. Our mortgage portfolio has substantial holdings in Italy and Belgium, area right in the floodplain. If properties go under, the asset value behind those mortgages collapse. Default could spike. Recovery difficult in flooded zones. I need to have an immediate climate risk forecast across our entire European residential real estate portfolio. Cross-reference with the updated flood maps, down to the postal codes. Let's start work. Alright, let's walk through the current flood risk scenario setup. Last year, we forecasted strong growth in the residential real estate portfolio. That momentum clearly isn't materializing, at least not this quarter. I'm revising the growth assumption accordingly. The stage migration is already set up. I will not adjust these migration metrics for now. We'll also need to extend the expected life of this portfolio to reflect delayed turnover in the housing market. Collateral devaluation is already mapped using the NUTS 3 level precision. Looks solid. No changes there for now. Let's trigger the recalculation. If the results don't align, I can always tweak assumptions again. The beauty of the Elysian system: when calculation costs the bank less than an espresso shot, and save us far more than that. Espresso. Calculation complete. Let's take a closer look at the updated scenario results. The total ECL over the next 3 years has increased by 42% compared to the baseline scenario. That aligns with the adjusted regional exposure and longer portfolio life. Notice here, parts of the northern and central Italy and northern and southern Belgium are now showing elevated risk bands. This is consistent with the new flood forecast. Let's look into our biggest residential real estate exposure, which belongs to Miss Chloe Smith. Wow! The collateral is located in the middle of the high flood area. The ECL is through the roof. Good thing the system can do real-time impact assessment. That's given us room to breathe. The proactive revaluation, early risk segmentation buys us time. And from a supervisory standpoint, we have got a defensible position now.
EU Commission issues emergency directive, mandatory climate risk stress testing for financial institutions. Submissions due in 45 days.
Submissions due in 45 days? Well, why wait? Let's get it done today. Scope includes all corporate loan exposures. And they want scenario analysis with transition risk? Alright, let's start. Okay, starting with corporate loan exposure, scoping all the relevant portfolios, selecting related segmentation models, which in this case are product-based and sector-based. Now, setting the forecast horizon 30 years with 5 years interval. Standard cash flow model selected. For the macroeconomic drivers, I will assign the business as usual dataset to our top-level scenario. Regulation specifies constant rollover assumptions, so I will lock that in here. Now on to the two required scenarios. Baseline first. keeping variables unchanged for reference. For the orderly transition scenario, I will reflect the decarbonization impact by assigning the stress gross value added for the mining sector. What else? Right. Financial ratio stress. Luckily, we can bulk upload stress values. I'll attach the adjusted financial ratios mapped by counterparty ID. Now onto the risk bucket migration. Regulation doesn't prescribe a method, so I'll stick with the simple Markovian approach. Migration metrics uploaded. Check. Everything is configured. Okay, let's walk through the impact on mining exposure. This counterparty operates in the mining sector, where we have seen notable shifts in PDs and LGDs across the forecast horizons. No surprise there. Declining gross value added projections for the sector, combined with the counterparty strength's financial ratios, are feeding straight into the PD and LGD uplift mechanism. Spot on. Good. The model is working. The output is consistent with the logic and assumptions we fed in. This gives us a credible base to brief the board and respond to regulators. This isn't just about responding to crisis. It's about equipping the organization with foresight. Forecasting and stress testing have become essential to navigating uncertainties, whether it's from climate events, economic shocks, or regulatory shifts. When we run these simulations, we are not just protecting balance sheets, we are informing better decisions, spotting vulnerability early, and building agility into how we manage capital and risk. The institutions that thrive are the ones that treat forecasting not as a box to check, but as a core discipline, one that blends data, judgment, and speed. This is how we stay ahead, not just prepared, but positioned.